Hey there, and welcome to GamePoints episode 114. This is our weekly little get-together. We talk about recent gaming news. I am, as always, your host, Stephen Brown, and joining me today is...
I'm David.
Tonight, David, we have a resolution finally on the Imagos Softworks versus Alex Mauer lawsuit. That long saga is finally coming to an
We did
end.
say that we weren't going to talk about it again until we had a resolution, and it finally happened.
And it has finally happened. We're going to discuss a bunch of rumors revolving around Devil May Cry 5. We're also going to get into some Mega Man 30th anniversary news, a little bit more of EA stuff, some loot boxes. But first, before we get into any of that, I just want to address those of you watching us live in chat. Please feel free to join in the conversation and discuss whatever you want to. This is a conversational podcast. We do try to address any questions, comments, concerns as they pop up. If you're watching us on YouTube, comment down below and also come in. The whole point of doing this is to not only get crap off of my chest and David's chest, but to let you guys vent as well. So, anything you want to mention before we get into things tonight, David? Or should we just go right into it?
We can kind of just jump in, you know?
All right.
I think it's been well, some of this is dry. Some of this is newsy in like the traditional sense. But there's actually some excitement from this week as well. So I'm excited for this because it's going to be less drab than I think our last couple shows have been.
God, yeah, same here.
Like the bummer hit after bummer hit show.
Yeah, we have the A to thank for that, but we'll talk about them later. First story, though.
I feel like it's a holiday miracle.
First story I want to go ahead and address right out the gate is that, like I mentioned before, the Imagos Softworks versus Alex Mauer lawsuit has finally reached a conclusion. For those of you who might not know, this was a massive shit show that got kicked off a few months back when one Alex Mauer started suing any and all, issuing DMCA strikes to any and all YouTubers who had anything related to Star Mazer DSP up on their channel, regardless if they had any relation to it or not. And she more or less was threatening to take their channels down unless they started going after Imagos. It caused a lot of damage across multiple YouTube channels, and Imagos took her to court. The whole court proceedings was a shit show with her firing her own lawyer and choosing to represent herself, despite the judge's advice saying
don't do that.
You need to find someone to do this.
Highly recommended that you don't do that.
Yeah. And apparently it's ended. I will be putting these links down below so you can take a look at it. Leonard French's Lawful Masses YouTube page has a big video live stream with him and Don Thacker, who is the head of Imagos, talking about the results here, and they break it down. Long story short, the agreement more or less says that Imagos owns all rights to the music and other assets in Star Mazer DSP, and that Mauer cannot file any more claims on the company's work or attack the company in the future. Essentially, what this is saying is she cannot do any DMCA strikes against people over specifically Imagos software, or Softworks, I believe is what they're called. Any other stuff, she can't go after them for anymore. She can't go after anyone showing stuff from them anymore. Essentially, the judge has said, you're going to fucking stop doing this. Cool. Awesome. No word on if they're going to go after her for legal costs. I don't think they can. They can, but I don't think they will. I want to say that French in
I think they just want to get rid of it. They just want to be done with it. They don't want to deal with this anymore because it's been kind of a nightmare.
And I want to say that in French's video, they even say she has nothing that's worth the amount of damage she's done.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no point in doing it. They just want to move on with their lives.
Well, if you remember, things got really petty for a little while when she was like calling out people on Twitter and just really, really angry and, you know, striking against YouTubers. And just when it got really bad, I feel like that's when they did their countersuit and they're just like, look, we just need this to go away. We don't want to deal with it. We don't want to talk about it. You're in the wrong on this. And this is just what we need to do because you're trying to hurt our intellectual property at this point, and we just have to take a stand.
Right, and they have other shit they need to get onto. This lawsuits aren't cheap, and when you're having to deal with lawsuits, sometimes shit just has to get paused because you don't know what the outcome of the lawsuit's going to be, or they could have injunctions on you. All of that said, Mauer is still kind of up to some of her antics. Apparently, she is teamed up with another dubious fellow by the name of Andrew Watt to attack Sid Alpha's channel. Sid Alpha, of course, being one of the bigger sources of information about the malware Imagos Softworks debate going on. And apparently she also sent some really insulting emails to both French and the judge that was presiding over the court here. Not the smartest move. Regardless of these letters, don't reach out to her. Don't contact her. Her career in this industry is over. There is no way anyone will...
Don't be mean to this person on Twitter. Don't send death threats. Don't send hate speak. Don't be a fucking asshole. Just
let her go off into that distance on her own. Her career in this industry is dead. There is no way anyone is going to hire her after all this. She has completely ruined any credibility that she has, and we just need to let it go at that. This is over. One thing, however, I want to mention is that, from what I understand, the way the judgment was written, it does open her up to being sued by other YouTubers if they want to hop in on this.
We'll see if anyone goes to the trouble, but I don't know who would.
I don't think so either. One, a lot of the channels she targeted were small guys. They don't have a lot of money to their name. Two, she has nothing to her name either. So it would be someone who has no money trying to get enough money to sue someone else who has no money. So,
rare.
Anyways, that's that. If you want a more detailed analysis, please take a look at Leonard French's video down in the comments and the comments information below. Keep in mind, Leonard French was the lawyer for Imagos, so he does have a personal side in this. He is, of course, going to take the side of his client, but he does kind of break down what everything means in a nice package. It is long, though. I think it's like 2 hours.
Well, if you want to get into the legal weeds, go have fun. Enjoy it.
Yeah, but yeah, with any luck, we will not have to mention her name ever again.
Well, the next story is the opposite. It's a name we're going to continue to mention over and over and over again.
And rightfully so.
And one we've been talking about for weeks and weeks now. And that's EA.
Yep. And
a new article, I mean, this was all over the flipping internet, but we pulled it from CNBC. EA stock is down 8.5% month to date through Tuesday, compared with the S&P 500's 2% gain, wiping out $3.1 billion of shareholder value. So basically what that means is EA's stock was trading at a certain number, and it dropped. Not a little bit, a pretty substantial amount for the way these stocks tend to go. It was not like it bottomed out or anything, but it was a decent sized dip. And just that amount of dip is $3.1 billion if you add up the investments of all the shareholders.
It's big. It's bad. I mean, that's $3.1 billion wiped out is not something to sneeze at. There are pissed off investors over this.
That's true. And while Take-Two and Blizzard, like their big main competitors, rose like 5% and almost 1% comparatively while EA did this, it's not the end of the world, and it's not really as big a deal as I think a lot of people are making of it. Now, don't get me wrong, $3.1 billion is a fuck ton of money, but EA stock is worth a shit ton, and year to date, they have still been gaining like a freight train. This fall doesn't actually put them that far behind their original targeted goals from the start of the year.
Let me see if I can actually pull up what the yearly.
If you pull up a chart and see it, they go. Let's see. If you're looking at me, it goes this way, and then there's a little tiny dip.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up the 1 year graph here for EA.
And I mean, depending on the investor that you ask, a lot of people use this as a buy-in chance. It's like, oh, people are scared and sold shares. Oh, EA shares are cheap. Buy them.
Yeah, compared to what they were.
Now, EA's been on a list of like 100 shares to purchase if you follow those lists and stuff like that.
Let me see if I can bring this up. Keep talking. I almost got this.
The big thing here really is the fact that a bunch of angry gamers actually made a difference. I mean, obviously, this game still sold but it didn't even sell as well as the first Battlefield did. And it released in a point where this is the time where the big AAA shooter hits and everybody buys a shit ton of them, and that just it didn't happen. It sold some copies, but
All right, here we
not
go.
nearly as many as they wanted it to.
No, there are reports that Battlefront 2 is like selling like 60% less than it did when Battlefield 1 came out and all that good stuff. Battlefront, whatever the first Star Wars game is.
I gotcha.
So it's not selling nearly as much. However, this is the EA chart, as you can see right here. David there is right. EA started this time last year at $78 a share. They are currently at $100 a share. So it's still overall year to for if you take a look at the year, a big bump. You'll notice this big spike right here. That is E3.
Mm-hmm.
The first week of May. That's E3 time. It stayed very high, but has dropped from October 2nd to today about 20 points. That is not insignificant. It's a big hunk of change. But like you were saying, definitely. Overall for the year, they're still up. And by a lot.
So I guess my big point there is that we're not done.
No.
If you really want to make a change, okay, so we made a bump. They got a little nervous. Maybe they wiped their brow.
I would say they got really nervous when Disney called them going, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, I'm just saying, like, if everyone turns around right now and starts buying this game because, like, fuck, I still want it for Christmas, then you've done nothing.
Yeah, I want to see what overall sales for this game are.
And you can just look at what they're doing with the new UFC game to understand that they still don't give a shit about you. Yeah. They're going to keep pushing this agenda until either they fail in a more spectacular fashion and they lose a ton of shareholder value, or you start buying their games again. I mean, I don't.
So I actually think
I don't know.
I think that this drop in stock isn't insignificant, but it's not the death of VA either.
Somebody is definitely writing that down.
That said, it was kind of a wake up call, I think, to a lot of publishers who suddenly went, "Oh shit, we don't want this to happen to us either."
That's more what I'm hoping too, because EA can kind of get away with it because they have the backing, but hopefully some of the smaller guys are like, "Oh shit, maybe we shouldn't be that aggressive with this stuff. Maybe we need to dial it back."
And keep in mind with
UFC, be more fucking transparent.
Yeah, with UFC, that game was already gold, I believe, before Battlefront 2 came out. Like, there was no way to slam the brakes on that and take all that out.
Well, this has been their plan, though, because the new Need for Speed game is like the same fucking thing.
Yes,
like,
but
each EA game that's come out for this quarter and this like time of the year, I guess, is got the same like design principles behind it.
What I'm getting at is when it sounded like earlier you were saying they didn't learn their lesson, but they didn't even have time to learn their lesson. All these games are already shipped with all this shit in here when they came out. You can't go back and unring a bell. These games already had all that stuff in there before anyone had an idea that Battlefront 2 was going to get this sort of a backlash. Now, when we start seeing EA games come out next year, then we can see if they've learned their lesson at all.
Who knows? Wait for Madden 2019.
But yeah, but this combined with the Destiny experience bar fiasco that happened last week, where they were hiding how much experience you get and fucking with those numbers. I think the message to publishers, and I get the feeling they're actually hearing it, is stop trying to pull a fast one on us, because they're all under a microscope right now. Every single one.
Yeah,
of them.
The companies aren't sneaky anymore because it'll get out.
Yeah,
there's enough outlets and there's enough people working for all these companies that we'll find out.
And additionally, you have enough people who are smart enough to figure this shit out. Because they're so passionate about these games, they will sit there and they'll go, okay, we're going to spend 6 hours today shooting this one rock to see exactly how much experience it gives me. And they'll sit there for 6 hours plotting a point every minute, and then they will present these findings online, and people will figure this shit out. It's impressive and also a tad scary. But yeah, just stop lying to us, because when you do try to pull shit over on us, when you do try to mislead the customer, that's when the government gets involved. And that's what we started seeing with I think it was the Belgian Gaming Commission stepping in. You have Chris Lee, Hawaiian state senator, stepping in. And now you have the state of Denmark getting involved in loot boxes. This next story is going to be via TechRaptor. Come on, load up. There we go.
Give it a minute, man. It's a Raptor with tech.
Yeah, it's supposed to be fast, but I'm slow, oddly enough. Danish Gambling Authority. Loot boxes can be gambling if items can be traded. This is via TechRaptor, but the original story comes from a translated from Danish website, which is linked right here as well. Long story short, the article goes on to say that the Danish Gambling Authority has stated that loot boxes can be gambling in certain situations. However, they continue to specify that they would only need to be covered by a gaming license if they meet the following criteria. Essentially, they're not saying all loot boxes are gambling, but if it follows these three things, it likely is. And those three things are the following. 1, you have to pay money for the loot box. 2, there must be an element of chance in what you get out of the box. Those two items right there are more or less synonymous with every loot box out there. It's the third detail that changes things, that is the factor here. Number 3, the context of the box can be converted to financial gains. That is, you can sell the context of the box. By this definition, Star Wars Battlefront 2 is not gambling according to the Danish Gambling Authority, because you can't resell what you get in there. However, Counter-Strike Go, with all their skins, is gambling according to them. According to these three criteria. Sorry, you were saying.
I said I think we've known that Counter-Strike is much more apparent in what it does.
Yeah. Also, keep in mind the Danish Gambling Authority has been very careful to come out and say, hey, listen, this is not blanket rules. We will look at every game case by case, which they should. I like that idea. I don't like blanket rules as a general rule.
As a blanket rule?
As a blanket rule.
Yeah, I get you.
And remember, for people who are sitting saying, yeah, government needs to get involved. Well, the target of your ire right now, Star Wars Battlefront, by this definition, isn't gambling. So if this is what we use, Battlefront 2 is perfectly fine. And that does kind of bring up
in
the
eyes
idea
of the law, but maybe not in the eyes of the consumer.
Right, but where do we draw that line, I guess, is what this law kind of highlights. Do we draw the line to where you can resell the stuff for real-world cash? Do we draw the line at pay-to-win like Battlefront 2? Do we draw the line at cosmetics? Do we draw the line at you can pay real-world money for a currency that you can also earn online, and then you have both ways to open the box? There is no like agreed upon answer. There are some people who say loot boxes should never ever be in games. It's kind of a hard line stance for me. Like, I think we're both on record and say if it's cosmetic, we're fine with it.
Yeah. If it doesn't affect the gameplay at all.
So let's try to narrow down our official stance on this. So rule number 1, cosmetic only. Yeah. Right? Can you be able to sell those cosmetic items for real world money?
I don't really like that, because that implies that you'll have like a large inventory of the same shit. Because as soon as you say something like that, that means I can probably earn it more than once.
Okay, well, that's a different topic. I'm just asking, and I'll address that next step. Should ideally, you be able to say so? No. Okay, so cosmetic only, can't resell. Are duplicate items fine? Like Overwatch does this. You get duplicate in here.
Like where you just get coins if it's a duplicate, and you can use that to apply to more.
Yeah, are those fine?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, so duplicate items are fine as long as you can't resell them.
If you take away everything, then it's just like opening a chest in like an RPG. Like, you know what I mean?
All right.
It's a similar kind of thing. Like, you're just gonna get a random batch of shit. It just happens to be that you don't get this random batch of shit in-game, but in a menu somewhere.
So to sum up so far, cosmetics are fine. Duplicates are okay as long as you get some kind of replacement currency that can be used to buy items you don't have.
Sure.
When it comes to actually buying loot boxes, premium currency, where do you fall on that? Should games have premium currency?
Depends on how much I paid for the game.
$60.
That's it. The whole thing is a gray area, and I'm not qualified to make this decision. But no, fuck them.
Okay, your opinion. I'm not saying this is what we want for everything. So, in your opinion, no microtransactions should happen in $60 games, right?
No, fuck 'em.
Okay. How about premium currency that can also be earned in game? For an example of this would be
like Shadow of War and its Grindfest.
Yeah, but Shadow of War had 2 separate currencies. Let's say a game, and it's not thinking off the top of my head, but let's say the equivalent of Crystals and Stars Battlefront 2, which can be bought for cash, can also be earned at an extremely slow pace by playing the game. Would you be fine with it then?
No.
Okay.
Not at $60.
So, no microtransactions at all in a $60 game, which defeats the purpose of having loot boxes.
Yes.
So, Overwatch shouldn't have loot boxes.
No.
Okay.
Not at $60.
Okay, just wanted I don't want, I'm not trying to like force you into a corner or anything like that, but we do need to have these conversations because every person out there has their own personal limits. Anecdotally, it appears that the average gamer is fine.
Also, Overwatch launched at $40.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
I don't think
I'm almost
you're
positive
right.
That game was not $60. I think there was like a launch edition that came with a bunch of shit that was $60.
Okay, so $40. You fine with it in $40?
I mean, I'll use that as the case example. I own that game. I've played that game. I haven't spent any extra money on that game, and it's perfectly fine.
The point of this exercise...
I've spent no extra money on it, and I haven't felt the urge or desire to. When it's a full-price game, it seems asinine to throw that kind of content in there, mainly because CD Projekt Red is a company that exists, and you can instead just put a fucking $15 DLC that's a third the size of the full fucking game that I will happily plop down the money for.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I also think CD Projekt Red gets a bunch of tax write-offs and are buoyed by the government of Poland.
I would have absolutely no idea on that.
Okay, I don't either. I'm just throwing that out there. If someone knows in the chat or watch us on YouTube, please let us know in the comments down below. Anyways, the point of this exercise is everyone has their differing lines. And to me, it seems that anecdotally, I admit, this is just based on what I am seeing out there. There's no hard evidence to back this up. That most gamers are fine with microtransactions in a $60 game if they follow the Overwatch model. Cosmetic items only.
That can all be unlocked through regular gameplay.
All of it can be unlocked through regular gameplay. Now, we can quibble back and forth about how fast you're earning credits to buy the boxes on your own or how fast you're getting them in. We can argue those semantics later, but that seems to me, at least to me, to be what the accepted form of microtransactions are. And,
yeah, well, because nothing in those boxes will actually affect the core gameplay whatsoever.
Yeah, but you'll also have people who argue differently with that. Like, some people will say the way my character looks is core gameplay.
Yeah.
I don't agree with them,
the only
but there is
that
people. There are those
if
people.
If it was that kind of game, and they actually like changed ability of particle effects, that fundamentally changed the look of the game, and there was, say, one skin that has effects that are less noticeable, which make them harder to dodge or in some way affect your ability to react to them, then I'd say yeah.
Yeah, and I'm in that same boat. I think the people who go that far with it are kind of off the reservation a little bit. But hey,
I mean, everybody has a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we all have our weird foibles, right? But like I said, anecdotally, that just feels like what people are fine with. They'll be fine with cosmetic microtransactions. And the excuse that the EA, I want to say it was Patrick Sunderland, but I'm not positive on this. Correct me if I'm wrong here either. The excuse that he gave for saying the reason why they just didn't do cosmetic changes in Battlefront is because he said no one wants to see Darth Vader with a pink lightsaber. Motherfucker. I would love to see Darth Vader like Disco Vader walking around with like a disco light up ball on his chest. And don't say that's because it breaks canon, because you motherfuckers put out Star Wars Connect.
Yeah.
You know, when like Han Solo dances with stormtroopers. So, yeah, I think we found where the line is. and EA stepped way over it. And I think that all the other publishers have taken notice of this, and they're going to realign appropriately. I think the next big test to see how far they push these is going to be with Anthem. And we'll all
that's my big takeaway. I'm getting less and less excited for that fucking game.
Yeah, well,
I'm just assuming it's going to pull a Watch Dogs out of the gate and look nothing like that trailer we saw. And I also just don't want to touch EA properties right now.
Well, the second they said, not to get too far off topic, but the second they said Anthem was going to be asynchronous multiplayer, kind of like Destiny, I just kind of immediately tuned out. I was like, this is not what I want from BioWare. But anyways, enough of that. As of right now, that is where we stand with loot boxes. I'm sure this will be a topic we are going to be revisiting all throughout the year and probably a good part of next year. Let's talk about something a little bit more exciting, David.
Way more exciting. Okay, so if you're not aware, then I'm going to make you aware. But next year, 2018, is going to be the Mega Man 30th anniversary. And Capcom had a little message on Twitter the other day saying, hey, keep tuned, because we're going to have some announcements related to Mega Man and the 30th anniversary coming up. They had a Mega Man 30 live stream on Twitch. And it's pretty damn good what they decided to announce. So,
and I expected nothing from this. I thought this was going to be like an Al Capone's Vault moment where they're like, watch this and get all this information. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever.
I assumed they were going to announce something. Like, oh, here's a package of the Mega Man games for Virtual Console or something.
And hey, we kind of got that, right, with the Mega Man X collection coming.
So, we'll start there. The Mega Man X collection is all 8 of the Mega Man X games, and it's coming to Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
Super excited. I might actually have to buy this for both the Switch and PC.
This is something that fans actually want coming from Capcom.
Weird, huh?
The company that fails to deliver things that fans actually want. That's pretty huge. I mean, that's awesome. That's a good way to celebrate Mega Man coming back. The Mega Man X games are far superior to the normal series. Fight me. And,
no, I totally agree with you. Mega Man X, I think, is way better than the Mega Man Core series.
But yeah, I'm pretty into this. Now, I was kind of hoping they were just going to re-release all the Mega Man games for Switch, and that's what the whole announcement was going to be. But no, then they went a different way, and they showed a trailer for Mega Man 11, a new sequel in the actual core Mega Man franchise that looks to play slightly like X. But it's got a new art style, and this is not done up the same way like the Mega Man 9, Mega Man 10 games were, where it's the traditional graphic style.
It looked like it could have come from a Nintendo game. Yeah, this is way different.
This is a new school graphical Mega Man.
This looks like what Mighty Number 9 should have been.
This absolutely looks like what Mighty Number 9 should have been. It's got a similar graphical theme, but it's a lot cleaner, it's a lot smoother, and it just looks super fun. So yeah, we got that. We got a brand new Mega Man coming next year, and it's on Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
Yeah, I'm amazed that they're doing it.
On the PC.
So a couple takeaways from this. One, if you notice that when you actually gain weapons rather than just changing color, Mega Man himself changes appearance.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I want to bring that is because the character that you saw in that trailer there, he was kind of like a turquoise blue with some bricks over him. That image was apparently in some concept art in an art book that came out in one of the earlier Mega Man collections a couple years back. So they were teasing Mega Man 11 before they even announced it.
Or they just took that from a book they found and they kept it.
I don't think so. I think that was a deliberate tease, but I could be wrong. 2, I love this art style to it. I like that how it looks like how Mighty Number 9 should have been. But I really hope they do that nifty little thing where you just push a button and it kind of takes it back to the original style graphics. I want to be able to switch between the two.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I want to listen to the music. Mega Man has always been pretty great for the music, so I'm excited to see what we get.
I want to see what them Robot Masters are myself, because let's face it, the Mega Man games are cool, but they ain't nothing without the Robot Masters.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see those designs. I want to know what we're going up against.
Rockman coming.
Yeah, I'm excited. The Blue Bomber is back, and I'm glad that Capcom isn't doing him dirty, because they could have. They could have just did him dirty.
The biggest thing for me is like this excitement or this announcement is so exciting that I'm more looking forward to what's going to happen with Monster Hunter World.
Yeah, I think
look at Capcom listening to what people want.
Capcom feels like they're trying, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not necessarily succeeding, but with what they did with Resident Evil 7, for example, I know Resident Evil 7 didn't sell nearly as much as Resident Evil 6 did, but goddamn was 7 an amazing game.
Mm-hmm.
So they're giving us this new Mega Man. There's some other rumors we'll get into in a second that I'm excited for. But yeah, I like it. It feels like Capcom is trying to earn the good graces of gamers. And I like the attempt. It's not quite hitting home yet, but I like where it's going. Next story, David, as we get into some more speculation side of things. The VGAs are happening later this week. They're happening Thursday, I believe.
Oh man, those are just the best.
You know, I know we
tune into those.
I know we make fun of them, and rightfully so, right?
Jeff Keighley's really trying. He is.
I personally like Jeff Keighley a lot.
Yeah, dude, he's great.
I understand people want to call him the Dorito Pope, and that's funny. Yes, I laugh when I see that image of him sitting on the throne of Doritos with the Mountain Dew staff. Side note, apparently Mountain Dew and Doritos got a hold of him. They said, we'll sponsor your show if you do it dressed as the Dorito Pope.
That's amazing.
he turned them down, but apparently that's a real thing that happened. They said, we would love for you to embrace this. And the fact
would do it.
The fact that he turned them down, I like that he turned them down because he's trying to make this into something that's not a joke.
I gotcha.
But someone's got to pay for the bills.
What if you could have got unlimited free Doritos?
Well, someone's got to pay for the bills, and I get that too. I really do think Jeff Keighley is trying to make the VGAs into something that has meaning. So I'm glad that he said, no, I'm not going to do that. That said, for every good decision, you get decisions like Shik Hydrobot. So I'll be watching them this Thursday, so you guys don't have to. But one thing you might want to tune in for is the fact that 3 presenters were announced. And these 3 presenters, you know who they are. They are Hideo Kojima, Guillermo del Toro, and Norman Reedus. Now, why is that important, David?
Dude, that's huge. How is that not important?
Why is that
important? Have you never heard of those 3 people independently? Or do I just need to tell you about them all together?
Just tell me what they're doing together, David.
We can fall back to when Kojima got done dirty by Konami, when him and these fellows were working on a game called Silent Hill, and that didn't work out. And then Kojima left, well, got booted, I don't know how you want to talk about it, and started looking around for someone that could pick up a new game for him, found Sony, took a look at what they were working on. Most notably, I'm assuming he saw the Horizon Zero Dawn engine and said, I can work with this. Then he called up his buddies, Guillermo and Norman Reedus, and said, hey, I'm still making a game. It's called Death Stranding, and I need you guys to be in it. And we saw a teaser for that, not even a year ago?
It's been a while.
And no one imagined that they would have a teaser ready for a game that would be just so pre-alpha from when he left. Considering that he left Konami, November of last year?
Yeah.
There's no reason why they should have any amount done, but it sounds like they have something to show us, and I could not be more excited.
First of all, I want to say, hey, Will and Pie Master. Sorry, I didn't see you pop in the chat. I had my chat closed, so if you... He's a jerk. Thanks for shutting up. Total speculation here, right? But you don't have these 3 people showing up to your award show and not talk about Death Stranding, right?
I mean, I don't know. Kojima is the kind of guy that would show up and just do that.
Now, yeah, he is.
Put everybody on edge and then announce some totally random thing. Check out the Death Stranding mobile game.
Yeah. Well, remember, he's been quoted as saying the game has already begun. So I don't know if he's just being cute there or if there's something weird going on that he's going to take like views of YouTube videos and apply into his game. So I don't know about that. But
there's an ARG that we don't know we're a part of because he's that crazy. You
can't just have these 3 people show up to your award show and not talk Death Stranding. Now, there's nothing official here. There's no official word on this what the trailer is going to be.
All we know is that all 3 of them are going to be there, and that seems like a big deal.
Yeah, I can't see them not showing off or at least talking about the game itself. One question I do have, though, David, is this even going to be a PlayStation 4 game?
Yeah, why not?
I don't know. I have a hard time believing this game will be out anywhere before 2020.
I mean, that's what you've been saying, but we just got a half system lifecycle update with the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One
You'll
X.
have your new consoles announced by then, though. I know we had that half-step update, but we're starting to get to that.
It could be the final game for PS4. It could be the definitive one that looks fucking amazing.
This could be The Last of Us, for example.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. And I'm fine with that.
Yeah, but would they save that for the twilight days of PlayStation 4, or would they roll it out as a debut title for PlayStation 5?
I feel like they would roll it out on the console that has a fucking huge install base, as opposed to gambling on something new that's not out yet, that may not even be something that you can start building games on yet.
Fair enough. Either way, one thing we do need to remember is that I know a lot of people are saying, oh no, this game's way far away and there's no way to talk about it. Kojima loves to talk about his shit.
Mm-hmm.
To the point of oversaturation.
Well, I mean, you keep telling him to shut up. You keep saying this isn't going to happen until 2020. And in his defense, he's been remarkably quiet for a while.
Yes. Which has to be a great strain on him because this man loves to talk about his shit. Do you remember all the shit he was doing for Metal Gear Solid 4's ramp up?
Yes. It was insane. And instead of doing that with Death Stranding, he's just posting pictures of him and Mads Mikkelsen on cute little mandates.
Adorable, by the way.
Yeah. Those dudes are bros.
So
I mean, maybe Norman Reedus is just there to officiate at the awards. Like, I don't know.
He comes naked Norman Reedus, carrying his fetus, marries Kojima and Mikkelsen.
Now, is Guillermo the best man, or how's that working?
He's the ring. It's Kojima we're talking about here. You gotta get real esoteric. The Toro's the ring. He will encircle them in some weird dance that is also meant to hypnotize and put them 30 seconds into the future.
Man, I would be so stoked to actually show up to this just because they're all there. Tickets totally sold out, by the way.
Yeah.
You cannot get tickets to this anymore. They are gone.
If this was in San Francisco, I'd be far more willing to do it. But anyways, no official confirmation that anything Death Stranding related will be shown at the VGAs. I'm sure we'll talk about it next week because they are going to do a bunch of game premieres and new trailers. But like I said, you just don't have these three people show up in the same room and not talk about this.
Mm-hmm. Also, did you vote on the Game Awards yet?
No, I didn't vote on this at all.
You don't vote?
No, not in the Game Awards.
You totally can, though.
I know.
You just go to... Well, I mean, since we're talking about it, I'll just plug it anyway. You just go to thegameawards.com, I think, /awards, and then you're there.
Okay.
If you miss Google, it'll probably tell you where to go. And then you can vote. You can tell everybody that Mario Odyssey is better than PUBG.
Everything's better than PUBG. Sorry, Jank is not a feature. I refuse. I'm going to be legit salty at any publication that gives PUBG Game of the fucking Year. That game is still, to this day, broken.
I mean, there are awards you can give it, and plenty of awards I would be fine with. But
if there's a category for best early access game, okay.
Done. Easy. Or like best breakout hit, or best fucking surprise, or best Arma 3 mod. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, but in the year of Horizon, Zelda, Mario, Persona 5, Nier Automata, Resident Evil 7, no, not even close. Not even in the top 20. Anyways, David.
Yo.
Before we wrap up the news, there's one rumor kind of going around that I want to address. And why don't you go ahead and tell us what that is?
Devil May Cry 5.
Damn right.
I'm not here to ease into things. There is a pretty big rumor that just seems less and less rumor every day that I feel like we've been hearing about for a while, that there is going to be a new Devil May Cry game. It's actually going to be most likely the 5th numbered game in the series, so not like DMC 2, but no, like the return of Dante and Virgil and all that shit. And it's probably going to be announced at the Game Awards.
Maybe. It's
possible they push it back to PSX so that they have stuff to announce there, but we don't know.
So, a couple of these rumor bits. Game is supposed to be sometime during 2019 when it releases. And the hot rumor was that it was supposed to be announced at PSX this year. But since Sony kind of had a lackluster E3 this year, 2017, it sounds like a lot of PSX got cut to be put into 2018's E3, and this might have been one of the casualties. So I think that's why you're hearing all these rumors of this game right now, is because this game is ready to be debuted, and they're putting it on the back burner for a couple months for marketing reasons.
That's fair.
The hot rumor is there's some form of PlayStation exclusivity because they are apparently paying for a chunk of this game. Think like what they're doing with Shenmue 3, for example. And once again, I want to state this is all rumor right now, but these are rumors that are being kind of confirmed, and it's considered like one of the worst kept secrets in the industry that DMC5 is on its way. So what else do we got going on here for it, David?
Well, if we believe the rumors, we have Ruben Landon reprising his role as Dante. Johnny Boyce is reprising his role as Nero. Don Soulsworth reprising his role as Virgil.
That's really exciting to me, by the way. I'm super excited that they're getting the original cast members back, especially considering that they are using different actors for the Resident Evil 2 remake.
Good timing. The voice actor strike finished, so
yeah,
they got that going for them. It should pick up the story after Devil May Cry 4. So again, like I'm saying, this is not related to DMC, that little side project.
I liked that, by the way. I liked Ninja Theory's DMC.
Yeah, it's cool, but everybody wanted Dante back.
What did you feel about 4?
I honestly don't even think I finished it.
Yeah, I was disappointed with it. It wasn't. 3 is still the pinnacle of that series. We can agree on that, right?
Yeah, no, 3 was super fun.
Okay.
Just getting combos and just going crazy. But yeah, they also, if we believe the rumors, there's going to be more than one playable character. Dante for sure, possibly Nero, possibly Virgil as well. Who knows? I think you mentioned this maybe partially Sony exclusive or a timed exclusive.
We don't know on that. Apparently, Sony might be bankrupt rolling some of this, which is why PSX would have made sense.
Mm-hmm. There's also some rumors that it might be more broad than the older games. Maybe it's more open, less linear. It's just more ambitious. Maybe it has more systems that...
Think more Bayonetta than Dark Souls.
Yeah. Approachable. How's that?
Yeah. Also, no stamina bar is what I'm hearing.
Fun.
Anyways,
all I just want an infinite combo for days. That's it.
Yeah. All rumor and speculation at this point. Don't go around saying Devil May Cry 5 is coming. But
confirmed via GamePoints.
Yeah, everyone seems to agree that these rumors are true. I have yet to see anyone deny these rumors exist, or deny these rumors, rather.
Hidetaki Itsuno is working on, and he's been working on something for a minute. He's the guy that made these games.
So if I were a betting man, I would say that these rumors are legit. They feel like they are. They have a ring of truth about them that makes me go, yes, all of this is true. But yeah, so if you're looking for more Devil May Cry, what was that?
Are Trish and Lady coming back?
From what I hear, yeah.
Cool.
But we'll see. Either way, I'm looking forward to it. I've always liked the Devil May Cry series, even the Ninja Theory spin-off, remake, whatever you want to call that. But David, this game is rumored not to come out until 2019.
That's days away.
I can't wait that long to play something. What can I play this week?
Well, if you're feeling it, Season 1 of Destiny 2 just ended, and Destiny 2 Curse of Osiris hits tomorrow. PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Hey, look, everybody gets it at the same time. No waiting.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
If you are just in Destiny, well, I think the ladder's reset as well with the season end.
You're right.
So you can get back in and start making your way up the chain, or you can play some new content and see what happens.
I'm looking forward to that, actually. I like Destiny.
People have been mad at the game recently, but... who knows? This could be amazing. It could be bad. We don't really know how it compares. I know that Destiny 1 got a lot better as DLC was implemented, and this game kind of started as a perfect version of Destiny 1.
I know surprisingly little about the Curse of Osiris pack, but I think I read something. Keep in mind, this is just me trying to recall this from memory, that they're trying to do something similar to Diablo's Rifts, where there will be kind of this dungeon that is random every time you go into it, and you can make it progressively harder. I'm not positive on that, but I could have sworn I read somewhere that was going to be part of this expansion.
Well, speaking of expansions, there's more coming. One big one I want to save for a little bit later, but we also have a expansion to The Surge. You've definitely played that, right?
No, I have not.
The Nordic game that came out a year ago.
I know it, but I have not. I know of it.
where you work for a mega corporation, you show up on your first day of work, and then everything breaks down, and you have to like fight your way out. Well, now you have a walk in the park for PC, PS4, and Xbox, and you're in a amusement park. But
it's a sci-fi Souls-like, from what I understand.
Yeah, sure. Souls-like. We'll call everything a Souls-like. It's fine. But it's a $15
You
add-on.
go around, you
The
kill
Surge,
enemies, you get experience. If you die, you drop your experience.
If you don't have the Surge, don't bother. Don't look. Don't get it. It's not gonna work for you. We talked about that game when it came out. A lot of people started playing it because they liked the Souls-likeness of it, and that you had some like robotics. It was the sci-fi Souls game, right? That's what everybody was calling it. And now it's got an expansion. Also coming out this week, the Road to Olympics expansion for Steep finally comes out. Now, if you remember, that got delayed for a little bit when they had some issues when they were doing the promotional materials and.
I think one of their stunt people died.
Yeah, one of the stunt people actually died, so that kind of got pushed back a little to try and let that die down. That's a horrible choice of words, but it's finally coming out. Now I feel bad.
To let the controversy fall off?
Oh, God. No, that's not better. To let things simmer, cool down. How's that? Snowy mountaintops?
Yeah, it's a pun that doesn't involve the tragic death of someone.
Yeah, I don't know why you let me do this stuff. Also coming out this week, Dead Rising 4, Frank's Big Package for PS4. This is like the definitive version of Dead Rising. Now, the most important part of this game is that I guess it's the most ridiculous version of Dead Rising 4, and it's the complete version, and you have access to the full character system, which means you can turn this game on and immediately start playing as Mega Man X. It's literally the only note I wrote down for this game because it's the only part that matters. Start blasting zombies as Mega Man X. Let's see. Well, I'll just get to it. The big expansion coming out this week, in my opinion, is... Well, it's not even an expansion, but the Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition, which includes Frozen Wilds, releases this week. If for some reason you have not played Horizon Zero Dawn, buy this damn game.
It's amazing.
It's still in contention for Game of the Year. It's fantastic if you have a PS4. If you only have like PC or an Xbox, you're out of luck, and you probably should have got a PS4 instead. Because god damn, that game is so good. Then fun thing though is with the Complete Edition coming out, the base version of the game has been dropping in price, and you can find it for $20 pretty frequently. So you can always start there, or you can get this Complete Edition for, I don't know how much it is. I didn't pay that much attention. If that's not really your style of game, the Walking Dead collection is coming out for PS4 and Xbox One this week. This is going to be the full series of The Walking Dead. It's the game that made Telltale popular.
Telltale. Yeah, it's what put them on the map.
It's what made Telltale Telltale. It is the definitive version of a Telltale game. It has dramatic choices that affect the storyline, and characters remember your actions. Things seem really serious.